Hi, I'm Dr. Mark, and I'm a voice teacher and stage director. Whether you're a professional pop or rock star that's wanting to take your performance to a next level, or you're just interested in making your car singing or shower singing easier and more comfortable and fun, I can help you get there. I'll start doing that today by reacting to and teaching you singing and performing tips that we can learn from the top performers around the world. All right, today let's learn from Mamamoo performing Gogobebe from the Dream Concert 2019. Here we go. So they're keeping it super easy and speech-like. They're being really articulate, but without overly forcing it, so we don't see any tension. They're just really using those tongue, teeth, and lips to articulate and not really pushing it at all. They're letting the mic do the job. Their mic technique's excellent. Mic's just coming up right before they have to sing, going right back down after they've sung the last note. So we're getting nice, clean, consistent sound. Awesome. So try this. First try saying bebe with an behind those back molars. So say and then try to say with the front of your mouth. Bebe. Okay. Next, try behind those back molars with an sound. Gogobebe. Then next try with a pure sound behind those molars. Gogo, so it'd be bebe. In watching them and listening to them, which one do you think they're using? And what's the difference between the three? What's the difference in sound? And also what's the difference in terms of feeling here, in ease of production here in our throat? Now try singing those same three different ways of saying the same word, bebe, but with different shapes here and back, and see which one's the easiest one for you to sing. I think you're going to find that certain ones might give you a beefier sound down low, but makes it really hard to easily transition through your registers. You might find that another one is easier all the way through your registers. So try it out and see what you notice. Then I want you to pay attention over the course of this next week to see how you use this space behind your back molars. Is there a vowel that you're consistently shaping your normal everyday speech with? For people on the west coast of the US, is really where we live most of the time. It's kind of this mumbly where the soft vowels collapse and we're just kind of talking in a really relatively lazy way most of the time. Then we go to try to sing with that same kind of position, and we find that it's really hard and it causes some tension fatigue here, and we wonder why. Well, that's one of the reasons why. So pay attention to how you're speaking. See what happens if you change the shape in the back when you're speaking, and see what happens. See if your speaking voice also gets easier. Notice the release in the back part of this jaw here. How that jaw just releases nice and down. It's not overly wide here in the front for the most part. In fact, it's relatively closed in the front, but they're releasing the back here. Try it. Try putting your finger in the front here just like she just did. And then yawn. And you're going to feel that back part release, even though this front is relatively closed. It kind of feels like we're smiling and yawning, but someone's looking at us, so we don't want to be rude and open our mouth really wide. it's a similar feeling to that. If we get used to that being our home base, then the front part of this mouth becomes about creating the proper shape and opening for each vowel. The other cool part here is if you feel like it's really difficult for you to release this jaw, maybe you're a clincher or grinder, then this idea of putting our finger in our mouth, maybe not like her, we're putting in the front, and I realize it's a different meaning here, but that you put your pinky finger or a small cork or a pencil piece here in the back, or a pencil here behind these back molars, and just gently sing that way. That's going to help you get used to what it feels like to keep that jaw open and keep that released. I give credit for that exercise to Dr. Ruth Christensen, an amazing voice teacher, great teacher that I got to work with in my undergraduate degree. And I came in with all kinds of tension, and that was an exercise that was really helpful to me among many, 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 many others. So kudos to her. Notice the shift in the lighting here, how it all of a sudden goes to kind of this deep red and it goes mute. Love it. What I love about it is that the lights aren't just some random configuration that are meant to be exciting and blinding us. They aren't just to make things look pretty, but they're actively part of the storytelling. They're part of the communication, but they're done in a way that don't draw attention to the lights themselves. They are more organic and they shift and change based on what the music is doing, based on what the text is doing, so that it supports that narrative. It supports the storytelling, which I love. I love when there is a lighting designer behind a performance that is really making intelligent choices based on the music and the text. Love it. Both the boy you just saw there, along with the singers, are giving really good examples of that upper tooth smile and keeping that ass bass in the back through the entire song. So props to Mamamoo for not only giving a good example themselves, but training this young audience and future pop star there in the audience how to sing with great technique for the pop style. Love it. It would have been really cool to hear the boy in the audience actually singing. I think what you would notice there is that it was actually probably a really nice sound. So 10 points for the audience sing-along. So fun to watch. They keep their bodies so free to move and flexible. We're not seeing any real signs of extraneous tension in their body or in the vocal mechanism here. They're keeping it really easy and speech-like, letting the mic do its job. And essentially, this looks like a performance that they can do all day, every day. This is sustainable. This looks like something that they could do 2 performances a day, every day of the week. And though they'd be exhausted doing that, it wouldn't be damaging to their voice and they would be able to keep going. Really, really exceptional, fine work here that is clean, refined, and polished. Really, really nice. What can we learn from them today? Well, there's a lot of things we can learn, as always, but the thing I want to point out is that eliminating excess tension isn't just about good vocal technique or about good dancing. What I mean by extraneous tension is tension that isn't needed for singing, or tension that gets in the way of healthy vocal production, or extraneous tension in our body, tension that is not communicating what the artist intends, what the music calls for, what the text calls for. It's nervous performer tension, not character tension. That's extraneous tension, both as a performer and as a singer. So why isn't it just about good vocal technique or good dancing? Well, because the audience is sympathetic, whether they're aware of it or not. If a performer has extraneous tension, the audience feels that same tension. And if it doesn't match the song, then they're feeling tension that they don't need to feel, and it pulls them away from being engaged in that piece. It keeps them from trusting the performer. It keeps them from being able to really breathe and immerse themselves in the imaginary world that the performers are creating. So by learning to eliminate extraneous tension both in your voice and in your body, you're not just doing yourself a service, but you're doing your audience a service as well. What's one thing you can do today to get rid of that tension? Well, you can massage tension points yourself, put pressure on it, massage it. You can go to a massage therapist. That would be great. So for the majority of us, when we're busy and we're just wanting to do one thing to keep things relaxed and get rid of that tension, what can we do? Well, one thing you can do is bunch up the muscles that are getting tight, or just go through your entire body and make the muscles that feel tight even tighter. Make them as tight as you can. Okay, so for example, I carry a lot of tension in my shoulders. I'm going to keep them tight until they start to quiver, and then I'm going to release them. If we do that through our whole body and then keep cycling through that body, over time we're going to be able to release those muscles and places where we carry extraneous tension of everyday living and everyday stresses, so that our body learns how to release them and it doesn't start accumulating those tension points and stress points day after day after day after day. And you'll be able to get to a point as you practice it that you'll be able to release those muscles quickly, so that even if you're in the middle of a performance and getting tight and tense, you can just notice and release that tension. Another great thing to practice is meditation. One of my favorite apps to do that is headspace.com. I don't get any money from saying it. It literally is just one of my favorite apps out there because it teaches you about meditation, and they have meditation segments that are just 10 minutes long, which makes it really easy and doable. So these are some tips that I recommend to my own students and I hope are useful to you. If you want a voice lesson, a performance coaching, or want me to work with you or your group to help you sing easier, perform at a consistently higher level, book a time with me at mrperformingartsstudio.com. I look forward to working with you online.